CUNA's Government Affairs Conference has earned the right to be called the credit union's premier conference. With more than 4,500 participants, 22 members of Congress and regulators, and 3 keynote speakers, the GAC will leave its mark on the national conversation well beyond the 4 days of the conference. Here to take us behind the scenes is CUNA's Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for Madison, Jill Tomlin.
We're here backstage at the CUNA GAC. This is where the final touches of months of planning come together. There's been a lot going on this week, not just here backstage. Credit union leaders from across the country have assembled to evaluate the political landscape and how it may affect credit unions.
Why isn't everyone a member of a credit union? Well, that's part of what the vision is all about.
Our Unite for Good initiative captured the imagination of the credit union movement and put us on a unified path towards sustained growth.
Who cares if we're taxed? Who cares if we have too many regulations? It only matters because in the end, what we do that brings value is what we are able to accomplish for members.
Our advocacy efforts maintain a strong voice for credit unions before lawmakers and regulators.
GAC is not just about the current leaders of the movement, it's about the future. During the week, there were groups of younger credit union activists exposed to the CUNA GAC, many for the first time. After hearing from a few of them, I think the credit union system is in good hands.
The reason that I really wanted to attend the GAC is because this is such a pivotal time in credit union history, and this is an industry that I want to spend my career in. How important do you think advocacy is to the future of credit unions?
100% important. That's something everyone needs to talk about.
The main issue I want to talk about is the data breach and the need for reform.
The main issue that I'm going to talk about is definitely not taxing the credit unions.
Have y'all done a lot with Don't Tax My Credit Union?
We do the tweets, we do the social media. We're out there telling all our members about that.
We tweet Don't Tax My Credit Union. We do a lot on social media, and we try to promote it with our members.
We also do the hashtag on Twitter, and I put it on my Facebook.
So we've had a great response. A lot of members didn't know that that was an issue. They don't really know about our tax status, but when they realize how it could impact them, it becomes personal.
So it's a good, interesting piece of conversation once they know what it's about.
As long as you're helping out the members, everything else will fall into place.
When it comes down to it, the CUNA GAC is about advocacy. With so many issues facing credit unions, taxation, regulatory burden, and the recent data breach, credit unions have plenty of reasons to be engaged.
This is sort of my secret weapon. I carry this graph with me all the time. It's always on me when I go to Capitol Hill. Look at the orange, the community bankers. They have indeed suffered. They've gone from about 53%, a little over that, to about 19%. And yes, somebody is in fact eating their lunch. Who is it? It's the folks at the top. Do not let members of Congress and congressional staff tell you that they're not alive, they can't exist, that they're hungry because of credit unions. It's not true.
Your organization has helped move along one of the most important pieces of legislation that we're likely to deal with in the United States Senate this year, and that is reforming the housing finance system that we have in America. The testimony that the people who represent your organization made in Senate Banking Committee was one of the strongest and most profound testimonies that we heard.
Moving on to data breach. I know many of you, if not all of you, were infuriated over the Target data breach. Here we go again. I've lived through these throughout my career. $30.6 million, we estimate, based on your input, it's cost credit unions to deal with this breach. A spotlight has been thrown on the issue of you having to bear the cost, and we intend to keep it there.
The bottom line is that we need a system that better protects consumers through shared responsibility and clear rules of the road.
And my legislation, the Capital Access to Small Business and Jobs Act, with H.R. 719, allows credit unions to access supplemental forms of capital.
And whether you are federally insured or privately insured, you deserve access to the Federal Home Loan Bank.
And we've had numerous hearings and field hearings to try to highlight the burdens and the challenges that credit unions have in trying to meet the new regulatory regime and in order to meet the challenges of compliance.
Nobody likes to be regulated, and it's true that even today we have to be vigilant to see how the regulators are interpreting and implementing Dodd-Frank, and we continue to do that.
We have come really close over the last few years to passing the MBL. And together, all of us aren't giving up until we see final passage.
I will do all I can to make sure and oppose any effort to change the tax status of credit unions.
You've already heard the speakers already talk about the possible threat if tax reform comes, that credit unions may lose part or all of their tax-exempt status. I can tell you that I think that is very unlikely, but nonetheless, it is very, very important to remain vigilant. The reason why it's unlikely is because, looking around, I know that you will mobilize your members. Your members are your strength.
To be effective moving forward, credit unions must continue to interact with Congress and other influential players. CUNA's been moving the needle on credit union advocacy for years, but never have they been more ambitious than with the Don't Tax My Credit Union campaign, employing social media, online advertising, and creating a conversation around the credit union value structure and service to members.
With 99 million Americans across the country that belong to credit unions, that actually is 225,000 members per congressional district in every single congressional district in the country on average. And it's in those numbers where our real strength lies. You'll soon see that a focus of this year's GAC is going to be on how the key of our success lies in empowering and motivating and activating these members.
We've been talking about the plan to win for a long time now, and that least common denominator with the plan to win is educating your members about the credit union difference. We know a lot of people say they don't want to go to their members when it gets to the big issues, but we have to start. That's the building block, educating your members about the credit union difference.
When we look at grassroots, we see an ever-changing environment. We're no longer in the world when you ask somebody to send in a letter or make a phone call and you're done. This is a conversation. It's a conversation that's going to be had with or without you.
You don't win a marathon if you don't train for it, or if you only run the last mile. We need to remain engaged throughout the process, building our grassroots and actively lobbying our cause.
The CUNA GAC has been a launching pad for innovative ideas. During last year's GAC, CUNA, along with the leagues, developed plans that are being debuted this year.
Our credit union, along with University Federal Credit Union, participated in a study that CUNA put together, the Member Activation Program. The purpose of this work was to try to find out if we could actually activate our members, and we used the Don't Tax My Credit Union as the theme for that. But what if members actually act like they own the institution? What if we ask them to care about what's going on and to contact their legislators? And we've got statistical studies to help define that. We've got a program that will let you do that. And at the end, the most exciting part of the news was not only will they help you, not only are they interested in engaging and helping their credit union be successful, at the end of that process, they say they'll do more business with you.
So basically, this is the formula we came up with after going through all this. You start with a self-interested message, urgency, threat. There's going to be a cost. You use a known and trusted messenger, most powerfully the CEO with the brand or just the brand in and of itself. The tone should be at least comparative, and some of those messages about big Wall Street banks and so on should be included. And a high frequency of communication. And with all that, we got the best outcome in terms of what will happen in member advocacy.
We came up with a very extensive research design that tracks Jack's email campaign so we can get significant sample sizes across both credit unions against all the different tests. What we found in the follow-up phone survey completely validated what Jack found empirically with his email test.
Only say good things, positive things about this process, and for the support that these two guys and the CUNA have given us in this process. It's been a great opportunity for us to learn about this.
And I would contend that the biggest barrier to us is ourselves.
Advocacy is no longer an option for credit union leaders, nor is activating credit union members.